everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some Selesnya rabbits. This is arguably one of the better creature decks. There's variations of this that have already hit Mythic very early on in the season. It actually hit Mythic 2 days ago when I was kind of prowling around with decks to kind of play in the future here, and this rabbits list already kind of got there, which is very cool. So with that said, let's go over the deck and kind of get right into the games, as these games, like this intro, can be very quick. So Valley Mightcaller is the best one drop to lead off on. It grows for every rabbit, frog, raccoon, or squirrel we play that enters the battlefield. They don't necessarily have to be cast, they just have to enter the battlefield. And then playing the Seasoned here is kind of the better option on 2, depending how it curves out. Obviously you could say Pawpatch is very good in that spot, but a lot of times I like to offspring it in this list, therefore making 2 creatures, giving like 2 extra counters here, or help growing the Burrowguard Mentor and things like that, so we can get a little bit wider. Plus them 2 offspring and this creature enter the battlefield separately, so it double triggers a Valley Questcaller if we play this on 2, which says whenever one or more rabbits, bats, birds, and mice you control enter, you scry one, and then it acts as a lord for those same creature types, which is very, very good for us, because a lot of times we want to play Mightcaller and the Questcaller into the Recruit, and then have it obviously be offspringed. We get a wide board there, and then we're going there. But replacements, of course, we can play a Mentor. 1-2 works out just as good, especially if we have the card Hop to it, which creates 3/1/1 white rabbit creature tokens. And depending on how the turn is, that can obviously opt to then Knight-Errant of Eos with all this kind of stuff. Most likely, anytime we're going to use a Knight is if our turn actually curves out to be like the Seasoned with maybe a Finneas and then a Hop to it, then most likely we're going to go ahead and Knight, because that's not as much damage as something like a Valley Mightcaller into a Questcaller, or like a Mentor into a Hop to it, because with that the Mightcaller grows to 2, and then if we play Hop to it, Mightcaller is going to be a 5/5, and I don't think we want to miss out on that damage just to grab more creatures depending. And especially if there is a Mentor in play, then that is 10 damage as half their life total on that kind of turn 3 play, if this didn't necessarily get to make contact for whatever reason. Outside of that, we play other good value cards like Evangelist to be another kind of Lord activator, plus it is 2 creatures, so sometimes it is better to opt for this over the Hop to it, because the Lord effect that it can spread to a lot of your creatures if you've already Mightcaller and quests and stuff like that. And we have the Warren Warleader that also has offspring. Most times that's not going to be an option. It does come up today, but more often than not, you're not going to be offspringing this. You're going to be playing it for its 4 mana cost to kind of act as a lord in general, or depending on what you have, making a 1/1 rabbit tapped and attacking with all this other stuff, especially considering it'll grow the Mightcaller, it'll give us scry potentially, or we can even get like extra triggers off of other things. So it's very, very nice if we just need to go wide and get the job done. And finally, 1 copy of Seasoned the Burrow. Brings back an indestructible creature if needed, or just exiles big important things in our way, or makes 5 rabbits that can overgrow the Valley Mightcaller or something like that, or just grow the board for the next turn if that's what it comes down to. If we have an absurd amount of mana, doing this and then activating the village can then make them all into 2/2s. Plus if we have some lord in play or something like that. With that said, that's going to do it for the intro. If you all enjoy the content, please consider subscribing. Outside of that, let's go ahead and hop into the games. I'm going to go first. We kind of have too many lands, but we should draw many more. So I'm going to go ahead and latch onto this. I play the village into the Valley Mightcaller, into the Mentor. Knight's a little worse. Mono white, maybe? Play a frog? Play frog. Look at frog. 10 frog will make contact. Hop to it. Very good. Sweet. We play Mentor first to imply that we do have a bigger threat that they might have to deal with. And the worst part is it might just walk right into a temporary lockdown. So, I mean, it is what it is. Not a whole lot we can do about it. Play fire bricks, sure. We have one of 2 options here, depending on what we draw. So I can play this, play Hop to it, and grow my board and just slug them, I guess. And that feels like the best play. Because I don't think there's a reason really to like Knight-Errant here. I think that's actually just taking half their life total or putting in a 4-drop doesn't seem right to me. Especially if they don't have the lockdown. They're not going to have Sunfall here. Most likely they have a lockdown, I would assume. or some way to answer something here. But taking half their life total and then going from here down seems easy enough. You get rid of the other creature that's permanently larger. Okay, double destroy evil, sure. Feel like we should have maybe done that the opposite way, just by knowing how those cards work. But could have Sunfall here, so here's an interesting decision to make. Now we have an interesting decision to make indeed. I think I want to play Knight and reload here. So yeah, I think I play Season. Tap, 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 tap. Then we try to reload the best we can. I guess realistically it should be this one. And I have the mana to do this one. I could play this down now, but I'm just not going to commit any more to the board. I should be able to get the job done for the most part, especially if I could play the Lord if they don't Sunfall here. If they don't Sunfall, I play the Warden and then it's lethal, so I don't have to like put my Pawpatch out there to get Sunfalled as our opponent tries to click the correct buttons to do it. This. How much does this activate? 1? Okay. Right, and this is why you have to self-tap sometimes. That is how I would like to do that, yes. Thank you. Then I would like to activate this. Thank you. Marina was trying to tap this for my Pawpatch Recruit. Significantly the wrong play. Caretaker talent, sure. They can make a copy of this if they want to just draw a card. They make an 0/4 wall instead. These do have trample. So interesting here. This. Offspring it there. Obviously these are attacking. This triggers first, so attacking creatures will get a 1/1. Then I will create a 1/1 rabbit. Yep, they absorb the most they can. Get hit down to 4, and then hopefully there's no second Sunfall. But knowing how this matchup goes, there's most likely a second Sunfall. Visa's weirdly fine. They go up to 8. It's obviously a tough call, but at the same time, it's like not. Is this sorcery speed? I don't think so. Okay. Sweet. Now they can make a copy of the 0/4 wall. Now we're just about getting damage in. I can make 2 more of these. Sure. Pumping that up as well. Holy lands, man. Wants just to activate 2. We can look for potentially another one of these guys, I guess. I'll grab this. I'll play here. Then now it's what now? It pumped the whole board and then just kind of watch it trade everything. Yes. In there. Creatures get 1/1. Attack creatures get 1/1. Go. Sure. He's taking a full 5/4. Sure. With this commitment, it feels like they don't have the Sunfall, so I am just going to go wide here, or as wide as I physically can. Yeah. Then hopefully we're just good. If they draw another Sunfall, I think we're losing regardless. Much value on the board. at that point. Carrot Cake. This will draw a card on token ETB. And they already played a land, so technically the mana is now not there. Right to the bottom. This is all kind of fine. I have 3 creatures with trample, double pump. Although in this spot, if they're not careful with their mana, because they technically will have 6 life in total because they'll have 3 here. Off these, we can go a little wider. And they concede. Okay, cool. I don't think I had lethal, but it's okay. Opponent goes first. Sure. We'll see what happens. Looking like someone ready to fight, scrap, claw, win, discard. There's a lot of things it could be. If it's discard, we have a way better matchup. If it's Golgari, it's like kind of weird. They take a draw with this in play. I don't know about that one, Chief, to be honest with you. But because they are this deck, we are going to actually play the Pawpatch Recruit here. Against this matchup, we just want to go about as wide as we physically can, and then just try to go around Glissa if we're able to. A lot of times Glissa is kind of the combat stopper here. Duress, you get my hop to it, so you made my decision for me. Now I'm playing this guy. Does indeed make a bat. It's 2-0. That's not going to be big enough. I'll just play here. Drawing another land here is kind of annoying. I'll just attack. It didn't even make... Oh yeah, because bat doesn't work on that. I guess I just wait, right? Just wait until Evangelist makes everything bigger. There's a Shieldred. That's a pretty good one. Okay. I found a nice one. Myself. I can attack with this. Can't really attack with much else. Actually, I can attack with this, I guess. If I'm attacking with this. That's kind of the trade-off, right? This goes up to 3. I mean, Shieldred gets 1 block here, and it's like not even that great of a block, I guess. Because trample, this will get much larger. I mean, I guess like I don't even mind skipping here. We have to kind of start closing the door and make Mosswood like a really awkward draw. Plus Shieldred's like gonna be gaining life and things. That's the block they go with. Okay, down to 5. I do have 2 flyers. And my mentor is still just as big. I thought the Valley Mightcaller was biting the dust for sure. Sure.
Something
suspicious
here is going on.
It could plus. I do have 1 card left. Sometimes you'll see a plus and they leave. Okay. Sure. Alright. Maybe we can make this possible. I have no idea. It doesn't seem like likely at all. We mulled to 5 because we had all green cards and 2 white sources and vice versa. But hey, that's a good draw. Now I'll get some scries going. Who knows? Maybe they'll have nothing and just let me win. Thoughts? That's not gonna happen, right? Yeah, that thing's dusted. Questcaller's in the sewer. Honestly, they're probably deciding whether to hold up a counter spell or answer the Questcaller. Yeah, they virtue. That makes sense. Oh, another one. We're winning. Attack. 16. Hopefully we're fine. We have to draw so incredibly well that it doesn't matter. And I feel like cut down's held up here, which that kind of sucks. We'll find out immediately. Honestly, maybe we won't. We'll do this one first. So I want to scry first, and they allow it to happen. Sweet. I'll take a land, because that means I'll be able to offspring one of these Pawpatch Recruits next turn. We play this one. Comes in, we get another scry. We already know we want the card on top. Even though it is a land. Attack. They could have a bounce spell, I guess. The Flood Maw thing to bounce my Mightcaller. Either way, they're not going to have Rona jump in front of the Mightcaller. Yeah, go ahead and bounce it. Big mistake. Now your Rona's dead. Very cool. That's the best part about Pawpatch Recruit, is situations like that where they make it kind of clean and easy. So I could play this, but I think I should opt to try to offspring here. And it sticks. Okay. Now they could wipe the board. This is obvious. Opt to, it's a good reload. If I get board wiped, we attack. I get pumped. Down to 5 they go. I will then play the Mightcaller, or I could play the hop to it. There's a second Rona. Not looking good. This is a Maul to 5, by the way. Nothing really going on here, so I just attack. Yeah, wow. Maul to 5 and we win. That is crazy. The beginning of the video, I was muted because I was on a phone call, so you saw me Maul to 5. And we win in best of 1. That never happens. Man, this is the weird one, right? Because this into this is very good into this, right? But it's like, it's so vulnerable. I'm gonna try it for, you know, science purposes. Never mind, we're nuts. That's about as crazy of a draw as we could ask. Obviously, the one that grows per creature played for us is a little bit better. But I mean, here, I'm not begging, you know? Figures can't be chooses in this spot, but we are definitely vulnerable to what this deck is. Too many sunfalls, too many nonsense. Can't really attack into a 1/1, which seems unreasonable. Oh, wait, they're getting aggressive. Our opponent's crazy. They're crazy. Now, a little part of me does want to play this, because it'll grow both of these. But it's definitely one of these. And this. Because now Knight-Errant can't be traded off into, like, a Warden. I don't have a land, but I'm still going to take this regardless, and I'm going to take a Finneas. In case I find a land. We did hit a lot of creatures there. Knight-Errant does technically shuffle your library, so it's not, like, guaranteed. But I wanted to get the Knight down, so temporary lockdown wasn't near as good of a card against us as it can often be sometimes. Do I just ship in the team? I think so. I think team shipping here is good. Let's play this guy. If we're gonna ship, like, I'm gonna make everything huge if I can. We're in there. Get lost, most likely a thing. Gonna be hitting this mentor. Okay. We sack here. Go to 23. Might be looking to sunfall me next turn. So, like, this is definitely the best chance to attack. Get lost. Virtue and loyalty, a good one. Okay. How are we going to see trades happen here? Good block. I do have an 8/8 with trample. They might have to just tank it and block everything else. Kind of what it looks like they're doing. Sure. Down to 10. Now we have another hop to it. And another thing to play to make this mentor massive if they don't find an answer. But again, I'm super vulnerable to Sunfall. Second carrot cake, so they're at 13 plus have 5 blockers for a lot of my lower to the ground nonsense. So that is something we do have to think about. Or potentially, if we, depending on what their hand is, we can play this ward leader down and then pump the whole team, hopefully. That would arguably be better than the hop to it, because hop to it really only gives me +3 when it comes to this. But I honestly did not see their scry decision there. But I'm gonna play hop to it. I will scry a single time. 1 land's perfect. Even though I can't play this, I'll still take the land, because that's going to allow me to reload the board significantly better next turn if they do happen to wipe it. There's the get lost that we pretty much knew about. There was not really a way for them to beat that. They're triple blocking there and then taking quite a bit. We want to get rid of the flyers. So auto selector helped us out there like a champ. Now we're sitting here like this. We left a card on top. Then there's Biza. Biza's going to gain 4. They're going to draw a card. They're going to make a couple more tokens. Now the land situation is a little weird, but we can always take a turn to kind of set up most of our stuff here. We play a land immediately. How do I want to do this? Do I just go ahead and Knight here? Or do I look for a land? I guess I can make this bigger if they allow me first. So I'll be down to swing this as a 5/5. Maybe they're kind of deciding on this or this. I'll let... I'll let that go. Now I have to make a decision. Which is going to be play this, play a Knight. And it is possible that I'm supposed to just attack, but I'm not going to with these. Get these down. We're looking to absolutely maximize the reload. And the one reason I talked about attacking was because of how their hand is. We'll take the Lord, and then I will take the card that kind of works best with that type of stuff. And then this can attack. Then I'm okay with what the board is now to trade off one of the 1/1s. Just because this will get kind of weird. But the bottom they go. Yeah, we kind of figured this was going to be the blocks. No, I would like to have the Biza die. These are significantly worse, especially if a temporary lockdown comes in. Sunfall happens, it happens. Lockdown, if Biza's still on board, like, it sticks around, so you gotta watch Arena sometimes, being goofy. But with this said, I have Lord. I have a way to make my flyer a little bit bigger, potentially. Or I'll hit a land, and it doesn't matter as much. Okay. I don't think this is enough. Yeah, so let's activate here. Target my flyer. If it grows larger, then this doesn't trade very well. I'll let that go. I'm even okay with hitting lands at this point. Oh. Oh. Might as well get my scry in. I still have loads of creatures to play. I guess this doesn't scry. I keep forgetting that that never like targets effectively. They let the battle cry come through, so even if they do have a response or an interaction, it's not going to go over super well. Sure. You're going to get hit for 6 here. You're okay. Never mind. I guess it's not weird, but I thought they were about to make a token now. I was like, that's a weird time to make a token. Those go. Both of us make bat. Now I scry. Another hop to it. Like, I need a second white mana in case I have to reload the board. Anytime you see white, they'll still always play a Sunfall as a backup option, and they don't hit it. Thankfully, they do not hit it. Even though they play creatures, they're definitely not going to mind playing Sunfall to ensure that they can win in a spot like this. Ooh. This is a hard one to turn away. We're on the draw. I'm going to keep. Maybe we'll hit a green land. Maybe we won't. We don't, you know. Second hop too is pretty cool. Face hack, okay. He sleeps. Yo, these are pretty cool. I like those. Sick. First, could be a couple things that is. Could be Golgari. Could be Semic. Could be 5-color. A lot of things it could be. I have nothing. I did draw a threat, but not till turn 3. You know what I'm saying? Attack. I assume this is a bounce effect, maybe. They take the 1. Oh, I don't have anything to do. Oh, no. Alright, we lost. We're way too slow for this. At least in my opinion. I think we're way too slow here. We can try, but like I'm obviously going to try, but I think as slow of a start, like we'd have been much better off going to 6. That's the thing. After the mull to 5, it feels like maybe I should have. But I was just kind of hoping maybe we either hit a forest or just like a 2-drop or a 1-drop that's white that we kind of keep continuing the game plan on with. Like that, for example. I'm going to play the hop to it. I'm going to get in there. This gets larger. And then I'm going to play the Lord after. Maybe we'll hit a forest so I can play this instead. Or I might even go for the Warden here so I have like a bigger body to swing in next turn. And then play this on the following turn because I can then still pump my whole team here. We'll see though. You will see. Big Lock Prankster, number 2. There he goes in Atraxa. The problem with Atraxa is we have to go so large and so wide that we can beat it because they do have a Squirming Emergence in there. There's a second black source. So with that said, is it better if I attack here and then play hop to it now so next turn it goes super wide and it can maybe fight through it? The problem is they'll be 7 life higher than they were. Because here it's a lot of damage though. You kind of pass up on. I could, I guess, play this. It's kind of the best of both worlds, right? Where it's like a Lord next turn, but also like makes 2 threats here. I guess this is technically the better one of the 2, where it will be a Lord but also creates 2 things to attack. The problem is they're at 17 here if they bring back Atraxa plus potentially even removing something, and that's just going to be way too hard to beat, I think. This Atraxa also has Vigilance, so it's not like they have to have removal, right? They have to have one of these. What did we do that for? Here? Here? I think it's lethal. Yeah. They could have just put in an Atraxa, but instead they wanted the ramp. They had 7. Atraxa's 7, right? I'm not mistaken. Well, if today's video didn't explain to you how strong this deck can be, it's going to be kind of hard to explain it in general. We had a mull to 5 in which we won against blue black. Now, did they make like kind of a mistake that you're not going to see very often, very high? Well, maybe, you know, sometimes that happens, and maybe they had no other choice, right? Maybe they were just blocking for damage and they were bouncing the biggest creature, and it wasn't a mistake. Maybe their hand was fine. But with that said, I mean, they're against that deck. I also think they should put in an Atraxa, which I don't think we had it covered. I didn't actually do the math after, so it's like this deck is super aggressive, and I think against that deck we're honestly more often than not going to be favored. I did keep kind of a really slow hand. If I would have mulled to 6 and maybe saw like the Mightcaller into a Questcaller, or Might into the Mentor, and they don't have the bounce like they didn't, I don't think then we would have had to care about the Atraxa, because they played land 5, so we made it to 5 turns. This deck can definitely kill before then, so it's not necessarily like that big of a deal in those matchups. But with that said, I mean, the deck's just good, in my opinion. This deck I find to be often pretty good. The only downside being that it is a bit of rares and mythics to run, but if you are playing these type of decks with like the Knight-Errant of Eos anyway, it's probably not near as bad, as you probably already have these in hand, which these are quite a bit, but I mean, we all kind of got to start somewhere, right, at some point, which I don't think necessarily these are that bad. I think this card right here is really, really strong. I think Pawpatch Recruit is strong in any kind of creature strategy, because it doesn't matter whether it's targeting a rabbit or squirrel or whatever type of creature. A Pawpatch Recruit should probably be in most aggro decks outside of just mono red if you are going to potentially play green, because If they cut down your creature, you're growing another creature guaranteed, and that's just really nice. And for the offspring only being 2, I think this is one of the better value creatures that you can get, because sure, on the surface it is 3 mana for like a 3/2 on 2 different bodies in a way, but one spell targets a thing, you're immediately up to a like 5/4 very quickly in terms of the amount of power that it put out, and then another spell gets targeted somewhere if that's what your opponent's on, and we're playing much bigger threats like the Mentor or like the Evangelist or like maybe a Warden, then these are just going to grow everything as well, along with this Valley Mightcaller. I think these two right here are one of the main reasons this deck can be so strong, especially leading into a hop to it. Realistically, there's a lot of things it could be, but it kind of has to be the rabbits for this to work. But these two are just so strong together that it's what kind of builds the deck together into a Valley Questcaller. I think these 3 are the ones that really make this deck super strong. The rest is kind of whatever for the most part. Obviously, Hop 2, it's strong in this deck, and Mentor is strong in the deck, and then this is also pretty good in the deck. I just think these ones are your key pieces that you're always kind of looking for as your turn 1 play, your turn 2 play, and your turn 3 play oftentimes. And most of the time, that'll get the job done. Outside of this, can be obviously replaced with a hop to it, I guess. And then maybe, just maybe, depending on the matchup, then we Knight-Errant this kind of combination instead of going in. But most often, we're probably attacking regardless. So with that said, I think the deck pretty much explained itself. I don't have a whole lot more to add outside of that. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.